Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. Welcome back to my series, The Watch Pile, Episode 8, a video I didn't want to make because things took a dramatic and drastic turn. So, when we left me in the last video, I was at 112 movies. I had been culling the films down quite a while, watching a lot. And then my birthday hit. I got some large packages in. Everything just seemed to steamroll, and I found myself adding a lot of titles. So without further ado, let's just dive into these titles I picked up, and we will talk a little bit about some of them. So from 88 films, I brought these down into the labels, I think. So I got Code of Silence, which I literally just watched. So we'll talk about that in the Letterboxd thing. God of Gamblers, loved it. There's a full review on the channel. I hope to get the sequels on this one. I was going through my 88 Films Asia range and discovered I missed a film. So I picked up The Vengeful Beauty, the one I haven't seen. And this is one of the ones I haven't watched as yet. Rolling on the 88 Films 4K train, I got Ark of the Sun God, which I just loved. There's a full review on the channel where I go into some of the things that I just loved about it, but terrific film. Then went to my Vinegar Syndrome package, which I got. So we'll start with the one film that I haven't watched as yet, and that is Something in the Dirt. Now, the reason I picked this up was Benson and Moorhead. I love their films. Spring is tremendous. The Endless is terrific. And I just kind of like these films that they're doing, these kind of smaller ones, but grand ideas. I picked up Vacation of Terror 1 and 2. 1 was fine, kind of boring. 2, it was more of my kind of thing, but still not great. Gialli that I reviewed recently was 5 Women for the Killer. This one seems to polarize people a lot. I liked it. A lot of people did not. The VSL number 3 was The Cat Creeps, which was a rather typical movie of the time, which was fun. One of my favourite ones from this package, probably my favourite actually, Gina from Canadian International Pictures, was a wonderful rape revenge movie, but mixed with a kind of drama about documentary filmmakers trying to get their film done, which was terrific. Curse of the Blue Lights was a bit of an oddball. I wasn't really feeling it when I watched this one. I'm going to have to rewatch it at some point, and I've heard the documentary on the disc is terrific. And from Umbrella, I picked up Nightmares, which is a kind of slasher movie which breaks a lot of the conventional rules of slasher films, which I really liked, and there's a review coming for that soon. Next up, we have The Changeling from Second Sight Films 4K UHD. It's a terrific movie. You probably heard me ramble on about it in the video if you watched it. If you haven't, go and check it out. I go into the full package details. It's a phenomenal ghost story. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. Plane in 4K, which I was sent through from the production company, I think. It was actually fine. I kind of enjoyed that one, which was a surprise. And next up, we've got Picnic at Hanging Rock, which I loved. This package is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Again, I did a full unboxing and extras review and movie review on this one. The first film from Treasured Films was The Last Hunter. I love this. I'm going to pick up their next release in August, close to the time, Satan's Little Helper. But that sounds kind of cool as well. I loved that as a debut film and from this new label. It was terrific and hit the sweet spot for me. Birthday gift from Jeff was the awesome Calamity of Snakes. What a bonkers movie. Absolutely crazy in so many ways. Again, full review on the channel for that. Now into some Radiance releases that I picked up. She Dies Tomorrow, which was a surprisingly infective film, and the nature of the story and the way it's kind of grew on me throughout the time since I watched it. The absolutely phenomenal The Man on the Roof, which was a great procedural, and then turns into this highly tense, exciting finale, which was terrific. The Sunday Woman, which I found to be hilarious, a great kind of proto-giallo movie, murder mystery. There's one murder that incites everything that goes on. It was terrifically fun. And then The Bride Wore Black, which was just phenomenal. Great. A woman on revenge for some transgressions, some things that happened to her. Two new AGFA titles were the horror trailer show, which I was really curious about, and it was just wonderful. I can see me throwing this on in the background when I'm doing some work, because it's one of those movies that was really interesting. And I revisited The Sword and the Claw and the Brawlbusters from this set here. Terrifically weird, oddball Turkish films, which were, and 101 Films had a sale on for AGFA titles, so I picked up the ones I didn't have that were $9.99. Scary Tales, all of these which I have reviewed. Smut Without Smut, Wicked Tales, and Sometimes Aunt Martha Does Dreadful Things. Now, I hadn't picked these ones up. I had seen the movies, so I wanted them in the collection. Now on to some Eureka titles. Kirk Douglas absolutely shines in Man Without a Star. He was wonderful. It's a great Western, which had some real surprises and just wonderful performances. An absolute stunning movie. The Bullet Train was wonderful. I was hooked on this one. I loved the story. I loved the evolving tale of the villains in this one, and how we started off as just villains at the start but become more humanized throughout the film. Terrific. Creeping Horror, which I thought was terrific. I loved all four of these films. I just hope Eureka keep releasing something else, because it's terrific. Now, a lot of people weren't interested, but I loved Hopping Mad. I thought it was a wonderful series of films. Part 3, I think, is my favourite out of all 5 I've seen. If you liked Mr. Vampire, pick up this box set, because it's more of the same, and it's really interesting. 2 titles I haven't got to as yet is Samurai Reincarnation, which is number 277 in the MOC series, and Revenge, which is 278 in the MOC collection. So they'll be coming within the next week, I would imagine, when I sit down and devour those. There was an indicator sale, and I had a bunch of points built up, about £50 worth, so I just used them and picked up some titles. So I got Grey Lady Down, which I haven't seen, Charlton Heston, and then I've got John Wayne and Hellfighters. I picked up The Chalk Garden, Carla's Song, trying to get the goal here, free, Fatherland, and Invincible. With my points and postage and packaging, I think it was free. I think this came to 97p or something I paid for these. I think there was a price glitch. I posted it a while ago about Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the HDR 4K version. It was down to $14.99. I love the film. At that price and a release day, I picked it up immediately. Arrow sale recently, I picked up Shock. I really enjoyed this one. It was just passing through HMV, popped in for a look. It had the slipcover, got the booklet. I really liked the film, so no brainer. Then on to my package that my friend Joel sent me. Mario Bava's Planet of the Vampires. Wanted to see it for the longest while. It was campy, it was fun and colourful, and I can see how this has influenced a few other major science fiction movies, which was interesting. Shanghai Joe, which I talked about in my review, I loved this one. It was terrific. More of the same of that would be fantastic. The 4K release of City of the Living Dead has been a standout. One of my favourite releases of the year. I love the fact they've even got hidden stuff, Easter eggs on the menu where you can watch a VHS copy of the film. Just quirky. It's unnecessary, but I love when companies do that little extra. Army of the Darkness, which I was hoping would be the last time I picked this up, but I need a 4K version of the director's cut, which is unfortunate that it's not included on this collection. My next film that I'm going to watch is Convoy Busters, which Mauricio Merli. I can't wait to check this one out. I know I'm going to love it. Still not got around to watching the 4K of Four Flies on Grey Velvet, but I know I love the film and I'll get to it soon. And The Wraith, which I have a great deal of fun with. This will be a member review at some point. And then 2 Lynch films. First, Mulholland Drive, which I saw a long while ago. And next up, the 4K disc of Lost Highway, which I'm excited to watch. Finally, we have my birthday gift from Andy, Shawscope Volume 2, 14 films of Shaw Brothers Kung Fu action. I'm about ready to start that. As long as nothing major comes in, I'll be getting to that pretty soon. So, as always, let's dive into the Letterboxd. So when I last left you lovely people, I was watching Nosferatu in Venice. That was the last one I watched. I then went to the 88 films disc of Whipping the Body, which was terrific. I love that one. I've thought about it a lot, this Mario Bava movie, and I think I'm going to go back to it real soon because there's a couple of things I was really interested in. I want to see if I can expand my thoughts on a little bit. The Gift from Imprint was great, revisiting Sam Raimi's early work here. It's the early work, his work before he started to move into the bigger blockbuster type movies. It's so assured. It's wonderful cast, great performances. Violence in a Women's Prison, Black Emmanuel film. I really like this one. Bruno Mattei, I think, is probably my favourite Bruno Mattei film. And that's, I don't really like that guy, so having something that I really enjoyed like this was terrific. It's made me wonder about that Black Emmanuel Severin set, although it's a little pricey. Bone Tomahawk, I wanted to show a favourite to a friend, so we watched that. Dungeons and Dragons at the cinema was an absolute treat. I love this thing. The trailers looked horrendous, and I went in with low expectations on this one and came out loving it. In fact, I went a second time to see it with someone else. Man in the Roof, as I was talking about, great. Renfield I went to see. I really enjoyed that one as well. Just fun, throwaway, forgettable film. Ark of the Sun God from 88 Films. The Sunday Woman from Radiance. And then we have the Creeping Horror box set. Paused only for the Agfa horror trailer shows. Then I had Lover's Lane from Arrow, which I didn't pick up. It was a screening disc I got for that one. I really kind of liked that, and I may pick it up further down the line. The Sword and the Claw, otherwise known as Lion Man, which is great. Apple film, Ghosted, which was fine. It killed an evening with the family, so we kind of watched that. Brawl Busters was on the Sword and the Claw disc, and then the Bullet Train, which I've only rated at 4 stars because, see, now the more I think about the Bullet Train, the more I loved it. So I think I needs a re-evaluation to check that one out again. And let's jump into here where we have Tetris, which was another Apple film, which I thought was fantastic. Really enjoyed that one, surprisingly so. Plane, which was fine. Libido, which was a gift from Andy as well, which I finally got round to. And just 4 actors, location, all kinds of things going on, and it played up to a wonderful crescendo. Army of Darkness, which I'd adore. Planet of the Vampires, which was really fun. And then, do you know what? Watched Army of Darkness again, because why not? Why wouldn't I? Picnic at Hanging Rock was an experience in itself. I loved that film. I went to the cinema to see Return of the Jedi. Film was great. The audience was not. God of Gamblers, which we spoke about earlier on. Chow Yun Fat. I want the sequels for that. Hopefully 88 Films are listening to the fans, because we think we all want it, and it'll be out soon. The Three Musketeers and the Four Musketeers was wonderful revisiting these and seeing the extras and how they talked about the duplicitous nature of the producers by splitting it into 2 movies fairly early on, but not letting anyone else know about that. It was kind of strange. Man Without a Star, Masters of Cinema film I meant to pick up last year. I didn't. Finally got it. Terrific. I had rewatched Wanted because I just wanted some kind of action throwaway movie. Loved it. Brotherhood of the Wolf was something I got in 4K, and that was just terrific. Really kind of mix of sort of older style movies, but with modern action split into it. So you get something set in the 17th, 18th century, but with a kind of modern spin on the filmmaking and the action, which really worked well. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I really enjoyed that in the cinema. Felt like a finality, a final point to the characters, which I really enjoyed. Mr. Vampire 2, the beginning of the Hopping Mad set, which I loved those films. The Dungeon Master is from the Arrow Enter the Video Store set. I'll be watching all 5 and reviewing all 5 around about release date for these. Dungeon Master was really good. The only problem I had was there was 3 versions to choose from. And I hate when I get that when it's a first watch, because you're never sure which one you're going to pick is the right one. Calamity of Snakes, like I said, I loved that one. And same with Shanghai Joe was terrific. City of the Living Dead, amazing. Mr. Vampire 3, great as well. But again, probably a little bit higher than a 3-star, I would say. She Dies Tomorrow, which was interesting, but has grew on me. The Bride Wore Black, terrific. The Haunting of Julia, which was full circle. I really like this one a lot. And again, the more I think about it, the more I kind of like it. The idea of someone going through grief. And I like to think of the film as it's all Julia. There's no ghostly apparitions. It's just her dealing with what's happened in her life. And finished off the vampire set, I watched The Overworked, which was on the disc for The Bride Wore Black. It was a little short film, but highly entertaining. Curse of the Blue Lights left me a little bit cold. I don't know how that one's going to do on rewatch, but I feel like it deserves a rewatch because I wasn't in the best moods when I watched it. The Cat Creeps was the VSL number 3. I enjoyed it. It wasn't outstanding, but it was a fun watch. 5 Women for the Colour was a giallo that I enjoyed, but it's been a while since I sat down and watched the giallo, or a new one. So I kind of had that joy of going back into the subgenre again. I did back-to-back viewings of Vacation of Terror and Vacation of Terror 2. Didn't like the first one. It was kind of tedious, a little bit boring. Wasn't bad, but it just dragged on, and there was moments that annoyed me. Vacations of Terror 2 was more campy, more fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Gina, I really enjoyed that, and that's going to go up on a rewatch. I just know it. It's just one of those movies. I saw Scream 6 eventually, and I enjoyed it. It's just another kind of Scream movie. The Last Hunter, like I said, great release from Treasured Films. Looking forward to what else they do next. The Little Mermaid was, yeah. I was dragged to see it. My kids wanted to see it. I had to go. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. Then we have the Essential Noir Volume 4 set, which I had Rope of Sand, Appointment with Danger, The Enforcer, Jennifer, and Beware My Lovely. Amazing films, all of them. I'd say the one I liked the least was Beware My Lovely, but the rest were really solid. I revisited Burning Paradise, which was from Eureka, which was terrific as well. I then watched the Adventures set from Imprint, which I didn't show you guys. Give me 1 second. Back. So, the Essential Film Noir, which I didn't show, and the Adventures collection, again, which I didn't show for some reason. But the Adventures set had Arabian Nights, The Desert Hawk, Zarak, 1001 Nights, and Omar Khayyam. They were all fine, interesting, fun films. Not things I would really go back to much, but it was a really cool set to see all these technicolored films set in the Middle East with these great production standards and map paintings and sets were great. The Changeling I rewatched. I'll give that a little heart because that film is just awesome. I went to the cinema and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which after the abrasive beginning where it's just an assault on the senses, I settled into it and I really loved that one. And finally, not finally, Nightmares I watched from Umbrella, which was a really great slasher. There's a review coming soon. And let's just do a live vlog of Code of Silence, which I hadn't seen before. And I really enjoyed that one. Great bad guys. Chuck Norris is great. Some cool action set pieces. Just fun. Fun all round. So there we go. Which I literally just finished Code of Silence before I started this video. This long video, which I didn't want to make. So, let's get these out of the way. And let's do this. So, the sad facts of things are, since my last video, which was early April, I've added 83 films to the collection. Really adding up that watch pile. I tried to get through as many as I could, so I've managed to get through 56 of those titles so far, and that's left me with 139 titles, which is 27 more than I had in the last video. But I'm in the film watching mood, and I am starting to watch a lot. So I'm going to really ramp that up and try to see if I can get it down again, because I would love to get under the 100 at some point pretty soon. I don't have much coming in. I don't think I've got a Vinegar Syndrome sale package coming soon. And I think that's it. Maybe a couple of standalone titles that are coming out soon. I may have picking up Burial Ground 4K, I think is maybe next one, and Tentacles from the Italian collection. But other than that, I don't think there's too much in the next few weeks, which is great. It'll give me a chance to really get through the collection. And hopefully, when I come back next time, I'll be further down on that list. I better be. I hope to be. What else can I say? It's becoming harder to conquer the collection. I feel that it's just a bad couple of months. Birthday, various gifts getting thrown into the mix. But that's the joys of being a film fan. More movies to watch. That's why I do this, to try and get through the films as best I can. So thank you for watching me on my journey of my never-ending watch pile, which I must conquer soon, surely. I will be back mid to late July with the next installment, because I've got a holiday in between that time for a few weeks, which may hamper my viewing a little bit. I may watch some old familiar films at that point. So join me for Watch Pile 9, which will be out in July, and see if I've done any better than this one. There's more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. If you want to support me, join the membership program, Patreon or manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can help the channel. I'll see you next time.